Hello and welcome. My name is Justin.
And I'm Draven.
And you have tuned into the GreyVillain podcast. Draven, who sent you? You can tell me now or tell me in 5 minutes minus your teeth.
I mean, I guess I'm just going to tell you now that I really don't know who the fuck you're talking about, but if you want my teeth, go ahead. I have a good dental plan.
Oh, okay. Well, that actually takes all the wind out of my sails.
Yeah.
So, we saw a movie. We saw Raging Taurus. Is that what we're calling it?
I think it's something along the lines of Pisces Boy.
Oh. Double people. No. Gemini Man. That's what it is.
Gemini
Man. Yeah. I, Will Smith. No. we got robots. Now we got clones.
Yeah.
Spoiler.
Yeah, spoiler. There are clones.
In case you didn't fucking watch the trailer.
One trailer that they replayed 5,000 times.
Yeah. Gemini Man. What can we say about Gemini Man?
Without spoiling anything? It's a Will Smith movie.
It was surprisingly not awful.
Yeah, it was not as awful as both of us kind of went in expecting.
Yeah.
Not anything mind-blowing, not anything groundbreaking, but it's not horrible.
What, haven't you seen? You saw the trailer? It was like mind-blowing, groundbreaking. Those are the headlines.
Yeah, except it was neither of those things.
Ugh.
In fact, the one claim to fame this movie had also sucked.
That was the face swap thing.
Unfortunately, there's a...
Should just face off.
Yeah, with the face, there's a lot of uncanny valley, but I think everybody who knows about trying to de-age somebody kind of knows that going into this. That's gonna look a little wonky.
Yeah, for some reason they didn't just use de-aging technology like we've seen in the Marvel movies. Instead they did motion capture fake stuff. I don't know, they slapped Simba's face on there or some shit.
Yeah, it looked good in a decent amount of scenes, but in just as many it looked really bad. It's especially when he's talking and being expressive, it just doesn't work.
The scenes where he looked good are the scenes that were in the dark.
Yeah, honestly. The scenes where you only see him, even some of the still shots where you just kind of see him standing there staring at the camera or stuff like that, that looked good. But as soon as he started talking, it threw the entire thing off.
Just stand there and look good, Will Smith.
That's pretty much all he gets paid for nowadays.
I mean
he was in YouTube Rewind for that exact reason. Hey,
yeah, well, that's a good gig if you can get it. I mean, right?
No, it got the worst. It has one of the worst dislike ratios on YouTube right now. It's pretty
Money's
bad.
Money, biatch.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
But that's one anything. What did you like about it, Justin?
Action scenes were competently shot. I really liked the I liked the supporting cast. They all showed up. No, I mean, like, that's a good thing. Like, you can mail it in, or you can actually show up and do the work.
Okay, yeah, I see what you mean.
Even Will Smith, he gave it his all. He was good. I mean, that's about it. Some of the stuff was silly, and so those are my two things. You want me to come up with a third one? I don't know if I have a list.
I figured you'd bring up like the jokes, the witty commentary.
Oh yeah, I liked that. I liked Benny Wong has really good comedic timing. So yeah, that's a plus. And yeah, I liked the jokes. A lot of them fell flat for me.
Okay.
And yeah, I enjoyed it. You?
I didn't really enjoy a lot of the movie. It wasn't bad. It was passable. The action was creative, but overall the effects they tried using didn't make it work, and how some of it was shot was creative, but not exactly good. Cinematography wasn't bad, but again, it went for a lot more creativity rather than good. The CG in a lot of scenes was just pure trash. This movie boasted really high specs, and there are interviews with directors saying that theaters cannot play this in how it was meant to be seen. But honestly, I think if we had seen it the way you meant us to see it, we would have thought it was even worse. Because even on the lower resolution, where we can't see as much into detail to see how bad the details are, it still looked really bad.
Yeah.
I can only imagine if we had a better resolution, just how badly it would have looked.
Yeah.
Overall, I was kind of just... It was passable.
Yeah.
Commentary is good. Characters are okay. Writing sucks.
Yeah, the story doesn't really make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It's
a lot of hand-waving.
Yeah, it's the... why... But I think the big question that we need to ask is, but why?
Yeah, for a lot of this movie, seems like it could have taken place without actually having Will Smith in his role.
Yeah.
Because had they not involved him, the entire plot of the story would have just moved along without an issue.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
I mean, but why? Yeah, just, it happened, and then just like, okay, it's done now, and then they're like, no, but we got to do the thing. It's like, but do you really? Like,
the entire movie could have been avoided had Will Smith just been left alone.
Yeah, it would have been fine.
Because he would have never known about what actually happened.
No,
it would have been fine.
Completely fine.
But he had to be himself and get himself into this mess. So I guess we should stop beating around the bush, because we're kind of getting into the weeds. But,
yeah.
From here on out, spoilers.
Spoilers. How to Train Your Assassination Squad. So we right? No?
Okay, yeah. Towards the end, yeah.
So we start out on a train. We see our boy, Will Smith. We're going to call old Will Smith, we're going to call him Uncle Phil.
Yeah, because either you die the Fresh Prince, or you live long enough to see yourself become Uncle Phil.
Yeah. So, Uncle Phil is out there on his belly, ready to pull the trigger.
The only place he feels happy.
The only place. Luckily, no bees were around.
Oh my god.
So yeah, he's got a bee allergy. It comes up later, but
like twice, like literally twice.
But he's out there in the field. You would think that he would have like an EpiPen or whatever you need to.
You'd think he'd have that in the bug out bag, but he didn't.
He's like, I just go to my local pharmacist and pay like $500 for one.
Yeah, with my assassin money. That he obviously gets paid to own land out in the middle of fucking Georgia.
Sorry, sir, we don't accept that here.
We don't accept gold coins here, sir.
Yeah. But he's out there about to show us how awesome he is. He's the greatest sharpshooter ever because he's trained for many, many years. He's 51 years old. To bring that up,
doing it for like 30-something years.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, you don't start too young. This is America.
I mean, he said he was 51, and he mentioned that as soon as he could have joined the military, he did.
Which would be 18.
So, 51, so 30-something years.
Yeah, 34 years.
Yeah.
33.
Yeah, 33.
Whatever, it's close enough. He kept saying he was about 50, and then
close
they're
enough
like,
for
nah,
government
51.
work.
Yeah, but, I mean, he could have had a birthday already or something. Who knows?
So, this movie opens up with Will Smith on his belly about to take a shot, and it's lining up the impossible shot. It's got him taking wind measurements, doing the calculations, sighting in. And
he does it all in his head. Doesn't even need a calculator because he's good like that.
I mean, you're trained not to.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
It's part
legit.
Of marksman training.
It's legit. And it's
really cool. I admire the fact they actually showed that for once, because in 90% of movies, they're just kind of, okay, pop the bipod, we're ready. It's like, that's not how actual snipers work at all.
Did he? Yeah, he had a bipod.
Yeah, he had a bipod, but he still sighted in all of his sights. He sat there, took the measurements he needed to. That was still a detail a lot of movies don't show that I admire this one for actually going through with. Yeah, and his spotter's on the train. Mm-hmm. This train is a bullet train, fast moving one. It's going 280. Yeah, he said something like that, and whatever, I guess. It was miles per hour. Even though they say kilometers later. Oh, after he takes a shot, he goes, "You made the shot from 2 kilometers." It's like, oh, really? Can't decide. Yeah. Well, I mean, you're 2 clicks, but you're going in miles per hour because I guess we're in America, so. Yeah, we got to do that sort of thing. I don't know. The opening scene of this movie is actually not Will Smith on his belly, and this opening scene is the train terminal station. And first thing I thought when I saw that was it looked like garbage. The terminal? Yeah, because the entire scene is CG except for the platform and the people walking. Oh. Everything else in that is CG, and it looks so bad. I was going to say, because it's trains in America. I mean, what do you expect? Yeah, it looked really bad.
Yeah, we don't treat our trains the way we ought to.
But then we get to the scene with Will Smith and him lining up a shot, and you get this little
girl just goes up and starts staring at this group. So there's like 4 guys sitting there next to one another. One of them's a target, and this little girl from across the aisle, she just stands up and goes and like stares at him. Doesn't say a word, just stares at him. They're like, you can't take the shot because there's a little girl there. And it's like, too bad, honey. You're an idiot. Get out of the way. That was tension, but it was manufactured. Yeah. I mean, at least say something, or like have a little puppy that got loose or something.
Yeah, something.
Have
it
a
was
ball
just forced.
She just goes up there and stands there and stares at the guy. And it's like, stop being creepy, little girl. God, get out of here.
But the mom comes up, gets her out of the way. Will Smith takes the shot and
hits him in the neck.
Yes, to his account, he missed because he didn't hit him in the head.
I mean, guy's still dead. I don't know what.
Any slipping of the skill is a misstep so egregious that I cannot stay in.
Yeah, getting old.
According to him, missing by 6 inches is so horrendous that he has to leave the job.
From 2 clicks out, and misses by 6 inches. It's like, I don't know, that's pretty good.
That's still a really good accuracy. Just saying.
Yeah, any sniper in the military right now is like, dude, I wish I could do that.
Yeah, dude, I wish I could hit a barn. Come on, man.
Yeah, and you're like, I gotta retire. Like, seriously? And so our spotter guy took a video of it because that's what you do nowadays. It's like, delete the video.
He's also a very young, cocky, strapping lad.
Yeah, he seemed too young for the role.
I feel like Will Smith is kind of that guy who gets thrown in with whoever he kind of needs to be with.
I mean, yeah, but I don't know. It just felt like the guy doesn't have the experience to be...
Agreed.
On Will Smith's team. Like, Will Smith wouldn't work with that guy.
Especially with this dialogue between Will Smith and his handler later where he's like, I can't trust anybody but you. Yet you set him up with, like, this young guy as a spotter. Yeah. I think you would have put him with somebody a bit more professional.
Yeah, like, well, later on we run into Clive Owen, but Clive Owen seems like the guy who would be his spotter. You know, someone someone with more experience.
Someone who'd at least been in the field half as long as he has.
Yeah, maybe one of the guys that he was in the Marines with, or whatever he was in.
Something.
But no, it's this young guy, and looks like he's on his first mission. I mean, he could have been. He obviously wasn't. But he just seems young.
Yeah, he seems way too green for this sort of thing.
Yeah, and this was 72 kills for our boy Uncle Phil, our old man Uncle Phil. Yeah.
Oh yeah, our boy isn't here yet.
No. He says that he's lost his soul. Having killed 72 guys, he's like, it just kind of
starts to eat at you. You
start
to feel remorse.
It's like, I would have figured you would have, like, got over it the first couple times, and by now it's just second nature. You're just like, it's fine.
I mean, the issue with these types of characters is when they say stuff like that, it's really hard to go, really? Because, I mean, none of us really know. None of us have done it. Or at least me
Not
and you
recently.
haven't done it. Recently. I mean, I don't know. I might sarin gas a train later. You never know.
Whatever.
Just, a little Saturday fun.
All in a day's work.
Yeah.
It is Friday.
Yeah. Tuesday in Russia.
Yeah.
But, it's just, these types of characters are really hard to critique too much because they're kind of all the same.
Yeah, and so then his boss guy is like, I can't have you go away, Will Smith. I mean, we need you. Can't trust the newbies.
Yeah, to take up the mantle.
Yeah, and it's like, well, I don't know. There's like, this one guy they had tried 4 times to kill this guy, and each time it failed. And so Clive Owen comes back. He's like, you keep trying to do this, and blah, 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 but I could have done it the first time. It's like, oh, shut up, dude.
Yeah.
Clive Owen's over the top in this whole movie. I felt that he should have been a little more subtle. Like, dial it back a little, man.
I can't tell if that's the writing or if that's the actor. I think it's the writer. I think that was definitely the writing.
I think it was him.
You really think it was him?
Yeah, his whole character seemed just a little too much in everything that all the way through the movie. He was a little too too gung ho, too he loved too hard, and he loved.
You guys can't see the eye rolling right now, but
later on, well, go watch the movie, and you will be eye rolling. Clive Owen did not make it good. I think he was really the weakest part of the movie.
I think never mind, I won't make that. Yeah, of all the actors, he was definitely the one that I critiqued the most in my head, because his character didn't feel right the entire time. I felt more like he should have been the reserve military type, but he's overly emotional.
Yeah.
It feels like he's not disciplined, which is the exact opposite of who you want running.
Well, he's trying to instill discipline into his kid
boy.
and everyone, into Junior. And yeah, he's just, that's what I'm saying, man. He's loving too hard.
Yeah, it's just it's bad.
Yeah. But anyway, Will Smith, he's like, I'm out, and now I'm on a boat.
And now I'm 3 days from retirement.
Yeah, and so he goes and gets a boat. He's down in Georgia.
Yes.
He lives down there. Apparently everyone lives down there in Georgia.
Yeah, everything's in Georgia in this movie, which I'm glad it wasn't in DC for once, because 90% of these movies take place in like DC or New York or big cities, but being in Georgia, it's a little new.
DC's too urban, I think, for this.
Agreed.
They could have been in Wyoming for all, I mean, I hear there's a lot of open space out there.
Yeah.
There's like 3 people and they're all named Cheney.
All of them are the Cheney family.
Yes.
That explains the inbreeding problem.
That's why they don't really figure it out.
It's all set in Georgia, and it's pretty cool what areas they use for Georgia, because it's a lot of really rural areas that are very pretty.
Georgia's a beautiful place. They do a lot of tax rebates to get you to film there nowadays. And, they're pretty
it's got a lot of picturesque places.
Yeah.
And they use a lot of those in this movie.
Yeah, they use them all.
And it was pretty nice.
It was a pretty place.
Yeah, it's
nice
a
to
good
visit, not gonna live there.
No, don't do that to yourself. But it's a nice change of pace from what we're used to seeing in these giant action flicks.
So we learned that, so he goes out on a boat and he kills a bee, just like because he's allergic. That's where he lets you know that he's allergic to bees. But
they had to let him know something.
I don't know how many bees buzz around. That was my thing. It's like, no, that ain't a bee, dude. That's a fly. But you fucker, you killed a goddamn bee. You couldn't have just, like, avoided the bee. He's like, no, I'm super sick. I get
super allergic.
Super allergic.
Guys.
And it just, like, we got a bee problem, you prick.
Yeah, there's too many of them. According to Will Smith.
According to Will Smith, yeah, because who needs to pollinate plants?
Yeah, who needs living food? Psh.
Yeah, whatever.
Who needs vegetation?
We'll just clone it.
Yeah, oh my god.
He gets a boat and he heads out and he meets a guy on a bigger boat, and they focus in on the tattoos, the spade tattoos on their
forearm, wrist area,
inside of their wrist, of the right wrist, and so it's like, hey, this is super obvious. In case for anyone not paying attention,
in case there's anybody dumb in the audience, like we assume most of you are.
Look here.
Yeah. Framing. We're clearly framing this up.
Yeah, and right before that, he's renting the boat, and he meets the chick. Mary Elizabeth Winstead,
yes,
who plays, she's a DIA agent, and she is meant to surveil. That's it. Surveil. Yeah, it rhymes.
Alliteration.
I'm Will Smith, and so she's supposed to just watch him.
Yeah, she's just his new liaison, just kind of watching over him, making sure he doesn't get into trouble.
And he immediately
gets into trouble.
Gets into trouble, but he immediately calls her out. I mean, he knows. Yeah. He knows immediately.
I hated that scene so much.
It seemed too, like, she didn't say anything. Why?
It seemed way too convenient.
He's like, first person I run into.
Yeah, it's the same issue I have with a lot of the movies. It's way too fucking convenient.
And does he do that to everybody?
Yeah, I feel like at the supermarket, this new cashier starts and he's like, so the DIA sent you. How long have you been working with them?
And it's a pimple-faced kid. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about, man. I'm sorry.
Pulled his gun on him, slammed his face in the conveyor belt. Who are you working for? Where is she? honestly what it felt like. But
Yeah.
he calls her out, starts kind of interrogating her, then invites her out for drinks.
And she's like, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, sure, I guess. Just leave the crazy at home.
Yeah, I mean, if that's all it takes to get you to go out,
Yeah,
girl.
seriously, you have some low-ass standards. This man's in his 50s.
It is Will Smith. I mean, he looks good for 50.
Yeah, for 50, I'll give him that. He does look pretty good.
But yeah, she's got... I mean, I also felt like that was the giveaway... That gave it away that she is the DIA agent that he was suspecting her to be because of how she just went with him after that. But anyway, we're on the boat, and then he goes out and meets a bigger boat with a guy, and that guy's rich somehow.
He's rich, bitch. I assume he did something shady after the military to get his wealth with who he knows.
Yeah, because the kid is at boarding school, thanks Dad, and
his wife's in Paris on a shopping trip,
and the girlfriend's downstairs.
Yeah, and
of his giant yacht,
and his friend is in Budapest.
Yeah,
and his friend is also named Yuri.
Yeah. And so anyway, this guy, he comes up with information about the guy that we just hit, and turns out he's not a terrorist at all. Dun dun dun.
He's a molecular biologist. Dun dun dun.
Well, that's almost as bad. Actually.
Almost.
I mean, what this guy was working on is actually really terrible.
Yeah.
It can be.
It's an ethics disaster.
Yeah,
is what it is.
With all science, you make nuclear power and a bomb.
Yeah,
so,
like this is.
You go to the moon and can shoot rockets on people.
You go to the moon and you can drop tungsten rods from orbit.
Yeah, I mean it's whatever. And so this guy then clues in Uncle Phil to what happened. That he's like, no, you killed the scientist. And he's like, what's up with the scientist?
Why was the file spiked?
Yeah.
And
spiked the file.
For some fucking reason, the DIA has a surveillance drone over top of this all.
Perfect timing to look up and see it.
And to see the glimmer in its eye.
Yeah.
Because for some reason it has an eye that can glimmer. It's not like we've had stealth bomber technology since fucking World War II or anything like that. Not at all.
No, but they can listen in as well, so
that really bugged me.
Now, they can they can shoot a laser at a window and read the vibrations off of that and listen to it that way.
But it's not that clear.
Well, these guys are outside on the ocean.
Fucking boat.
On a boat. You would think that there would be water noise and stuff, but no, clear.
No, it's clear as day. It's almost like they had a bug somewhere on it, but we never get that explanation.
No, they just say, look, I got a satellite.
They show us a drone. That's literally it.
Are we sure Donald Trump hasn't told everyone where it's at yet?
Yeah, apparently not. Apparently Will Smith... Oh, well, no, maybe he did clue Will Smith in.
Hey,
he looked up perfect timing.
Twitter, it's crazy.
Crazy place.
And so then we find out that... so Will Smith learns, and then he goes back to the dock, and... Oh, no. So we learn, and then we get Clive Owen, intense Clive Owen at the meeting.
Very intense.
And he's like, oh, now we got to kill these guys because they learned the clue that Will Smith killed the wrong guy, or killed a guy, but then he doesn't really know why or anything like that. And it's just
he started asking too many questions. We need to eliminate him. He's loose end.
It's like, well, no, he's retired. Just make sure he doesn't do anything. About it.
He has a handler.
Yeah,
just make sure he doesn't do anything dumb.
At this point, you're just like, yep, all right. I mean, and then end of movie.
Yeah. This movie doesn't need to happen. They just had to not fuck with Will Smith and let him live his retirement out.
Yeah, but then Will Smith's like, oh, God, no, I don't even know what Will Smith was trying to do at that point. He never even got to the point of doing anything.
No, he went home and went to bed. like a normal retiree.
So he went home and then interrogated the chick at the dock, and then she agrees to the date, and then he checks in and finds out that she really is DIA, and then she's like, well, now my cover is blown. It's like, well, it was blown the first time he kind of called you out, hon. So
and then her nickname comes out, Toast.
Toast, yeah.
Because she's burned.
And she drinks a Boilermaker, But she never drinks the Boilermaker. I think she just took the shot. Like, it's what it seemed like. She just took the shot.
She only
you
took the
dump
shot.
it in the beer. Come on. I don't like Boilermakers, but even I know that.
Yeah.
Come on.
But I really hate mixing liquor with beer.
Yeah, it's not good.
It's terrible.
Mm-mm.
It's also terrible for you.
Yeah, well, whatever. So is drinking, but...
Yeah, so is being a cop, but
Bad for your health. So then... Yeah, so then night falls. Will Smith heads home, chick heads home, and dude on his boat, his girlfriend's outside. She's like, come out here!
Look at the stars.
And then thump.
And then she gets plapped.
And then that dude gets plapped.
Yes, he does get plapped and then promptly thrown over the boat.
Yeah.
He got thrown off his own yacht.
Yeah. You would think that they would have wanted to, like, weigh him down or something. Instead, they're just going to be floating around out there.
Yeah, and I also want to point out, he sunk. She didn't. She kept floating on the surface, but he did sink. Which leads me to believe some things are augmented on her.
Ha! I mean, probably, but I don't know. She didn't seem that big.
I know. I just wanted to go for the low-hanging fruit, since that's, like, the theme of this movie.
No, she was cute, I think. I mean,
we only saw her from a
distance.
You just see her from a distance, and then you watch her get shot. That's pretty much it.
But, I mean, she looked the part, I guess.
And after that, we get Will Smith waking up to a proximity alarm. Yeah.
Because he's got wires or something all over his property, his gigantic property that we don't really we don't really know how big it is.
Yeah, we just see the house and the land, and we don't really see any neighbors.
No.
I assume it's secluded, and he wants it that way, so whatever. I mean, I guess you're that rich for being an assassin.
Yeah, sure.
But wait a minute, it's a government job. I can't pay that well.
That's true. Yeah, I don't know. Government, I mean... The president only gets paid or supposed to get paid something like $250.
Supposed to.
Yeah, it was like $250K a year or something like that. So, government jobs don't get paid all that much.
I mean, unless he's getting paid per head, and in which case I could see him getting a lot more money. Commission jobs tend to pay more over time.
I'd want at least $1 million per head.
At least.
That's my going rate.
Plus assets, plus a spotter.
Yeah, and all expenses paid.
Yes. If I have to pay for my own flight out to kill a dude, I'm leaving the contract behind.
I'm going to be very upset. I might just screw it up.
I might just screw it up intentionally and pin it on you. I might leave a 1-star rating on Yelp.
Just letting you know, CIA.
Would not work for the CIA hit squad again. 0 out of 10. Would not help with assassinating Bin Laden.
Going back to my Uber driver job.
Make more money. But we get him doing a super stealthy move where he rips up the carpet and gets into a crawl space.
Yeah, he goes into a crawl space under the house because it's up on stilts.
Yeah, well, given where he is, makes sense.
It didn't seem like Georgia, but it didn't seem like a flood zone. So
it looked like it was pretty boglandish. It had the tall grass, and it had him walking on a pier near his house.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there may be some flood issues. So yeah.
Plus, I mean, living anywhere in Georgia is a flood issue.
That's true.
Katrina proved that.
Yeah. So anyway, he jumps down because he's well prepared.
Yeah, he's very well prepared. Has contingencies for everything, and gets his gun ready and starts shooting dispensable bad guys in the dark.
All of them are dead. There's like 8 guys.
Yep.
And they all die.
Yep.
He calls up, let's see, first he calls someone and first he calls the guy on the boat, and then that guy's already dead. And then he calls a spotter who's somewhere doing
surveillance work,
and then they're like, yeah, whatever, you're dead now. Why?
And you hear him get shot.
Why? Like, the spotter knew nothing.
Yeah, exactly. That's the part that really makes no sense, is the spotter knew nothing, and Will Smith was just trying to retire.
Yeah. And so then they're like, we gotta kill Will Smith, because he now knows that instead of killing a terrorist, he killed a biologist.
Yeah, oh my god, I'm sorry. We can't just let him live out his retirement now. And that's just dumb.
And it's like, yeah, he was just sleeping.
So he He kung fu's his way through the rest of this, and then turns up at this chick's house.
At Toast's house.
And wakes her up. For some reason, she doesn't shoot him.
Yeah, well, that's not... I mean, you always gotta wait before you shoot.
Unless you're walking to somebody else's apartment.
As we learned.
But yeah, she waits, doesn't shoot him, gets a cup of coffee, and gets told to get dressed and leave.
And she's like, yeah, sure, I'm on board with that. Because she's now a loose end as well. Somehow.
Yeah, again, she knew nothing. She could have been left alone.
Gotta have friends.
Will Smith could have disappeared. It would have been fine. But no.
Yeah.
So then she's going with him, and they go to the docks to get a speedy boat.
Yeah.
He's like, get us a fast one. It's like, no shit, I'm gonna get us the barge. Really.
We're, incognito, man. Gotta keep a low profile.
A solid 2 knots an hour.
You'll never catch me!
Meanwhile, they're literally swimming pace with you. But they do a little bit more fighting, and one of the dumbest scenes in this movie happens in the office, and I'm going to let Justin take this part.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I've talked for a while.
Because the girl is in there trying to get the keys. She's like, oh, you got keys, you got duplicates of all the keys in the office, and she's like, yeah, because she works there in the office, and even though she's been on the job for like a day.
Yeah.
And she knows everything, though. And like, okay, go get those. And then she's in there, and dude comes into the side door, points a gun at her head. For some reason, he doesn't just off her right there. Like, I thought she was a loose end. What do you...
Yeah, I don't really get the point of not just shooting... I don't get the point of not just using snipers here.
Well, that too, yeah.
Because again, all of these movies with tying up loose end plots can be solved with snipers. You can't see them coming, you can't kill them first if you don't know they're there, and if they're good at their job, they're shooting you from at least 1 kilometer out.
In Will Smith's case, 2 kilometers out.
It's like, come on, guys. But no, they don't use any snipers. They use minor, medium-range shooters sometimes in this movie.
And a meathead.
Yeah, and they all get shot in the face, and
he looks like the guy from the new Ghost Recon commercial, where they all have big beards, but then they also have the millennial haircut, which shaved up the sides and sort of long on top. Mm-hmm. And that was this guy. He's got the beard and shaved head. And it's like, oh, dude.
Dude, no. You look like the stereotypical mercenary dude who we off in every movie that we have you in. I'm so sorry. You drew the short straw today.
He's like, it's a job.
it's a job. It pays. And he gets his teeth knocked out.
Yeah, so they have a tussle.
They have a nice little a wrestling match.
So a 200+ pound guy is fighting with Mary Elizabeth Winstead,
who weighs like 130 wet.
Yeah, and she holds her own, and at the end she holds his teeth.
That said, she did take some good hits, which again,
she got the shit kicked out of her,
and it looked good too. For what we could see, given the fact that it's dark, it looked like she was taking good hits.
I don't believe she would have been able to get up from those hits.
No, I don't believe it either. I think, especially the one where she takes her head into a door frame, I think she's done.
Yeah, her face got put through glass, and then she hit her back against the glass. And
a lot of these hits were really unbelievable, but at least they looked good. Like,
she's a hardy...
Yeah, she's a hardy 130 pounds. And she kicks his ass. Built. And then she relieves him of his teeth.
Yeah, so he says the line, who sent you, and you can tell me now or in 5 minutes, minus your teeth. And then she comes back and says it at the end, and it's
okay.
Stupid. It was
even dumb. The guy next to us who's cracking up throughout the movie was like, oh.
Yeah, he didn't laugh at that joke. He laughed out loud several times.
But that was the one joke where he just kind of went, oh.
Yeah.
He just seemed disappointed.
Yeah.
It's like a parent. He's not mad. He's just disappointed.
He's Clive Owen?
Yes. Don't disappoint yourself.
Oh, damn it.
So dumb.
And so then, so she fights, and then she actually has a handful of teeth at the end.
She drops Will Smith's hand.
And he just looked at it and then dropped him. He didn't go, ew, or anything.
Just kind of looked at him.
Yeah, and it's like, was that a necklace or something.
Was that needed? Was that necessary?
Yeah, I don't know. And then she says that he was working for whatever the Gemini.
Literally, the movie is named Gemini Man. It is written at the top of the page.
Well, no, I didn't think it was. I didn't think that's what they said.
I don't think that's what they said either. I think they said
Yeah, they said something else. Dude was
like,
working for something else.
Janik or something like that. They said what's his
name?
name?
I think the person, not the company.
They said the person, but I can't remember his name.
Yeah, okay.
It's basically Gemini. It boils down to he's working for Gemini.
And so then these two take off, and then we get Clive Owen there in with the chick with an older
with the
director lady
of the DIA, and he's like, see what happens when you clean up your own mess.
And it was pretty much him going, I'm awesome, look at how big my balls are.
Yeah, I'm awesome, you suck, I'm going to use my military penis to win this war for us.
Yeah, because what you need is a real man for this job.
Yeah, so they send in not a real man to do the job.
True. And so then then we cut back to Will Smith and Toast, and
they're on a sandbar in the middle of
nowhere,
ocean.
And somehow they got service.
Yeah,
because Benny Wong shows up in a seaplane.
Doubt. Huge amount of doubt. How did they find it? Like, how did he find them?
I don't know.
In the middle of the fucking ocean.
Well, later on we find that so Will Smith has a tracker device.
Yes.
Why did they not use it there?
Well, he didn't know about it.
Well, he didn't, but no. Why did Clive Owen not use it there?
Oh, okay, I see what you mean.
You know where he's at, guys.
Yeah, they also could have killed him by just drone striking his fucking house.
Well, that would have been a lot easier.
So would have just about any of the other military options they had to their advantage here.
Maybe not send 8 guys, but like send 20.
Or maybe just
overkill is not a bad thing here.
Or maybe just send 2 snipers.
Again,
this can be solved in many ways. They just chose the dumbest one where they had
I would
8
send
guys.
20 snipers, actually. I wouldn't leave it to chance.
Yeah, exactly. There's so many ways. Bomb his fucking house. He lives in the middle of nowhere, Georgia. Who's gonna care? There are meth lab explosions every day.
I was gonna say that. I was like,
I mean, come on.
It's just another meth lab. It's fine.
Let's be honest. You can cover it up, make it look like a meth lab. He's in the bayou. It's fine.
It was just a trailer.
Yeah,
whatever.
It's fine. But no, they don't do this. They get picked up by a seaplane somehow.
And yeah, so somehow Benny Wong finds them.
The boys are back together.
And yeah, Benny Wong also has the super awesome tattoo.
The ace of spades or whatever it was.
Yeah, a spade. Just a shovel.
Yeah, it's...
My mom calls them shovels.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's adorable.
Yeah.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom. And so then they go to they find out that it was a biologist. That's where they really like, oh, it was a biologist and he worked for Gemini. Oh, so why is a biologist working for Gemini? Because Gemini is like a paramilitary organization. They're mercs. They sort of seem like mercs. Mm-hmm. And I mean, Angel Has Fallen should have called them.
Yeah, this movie has a lot of parallels with Angel Has Fallen, but that just goes with the genre, really.
Yeah, it's true.
The military action thriller genre kind of all has the same shit in it.
Come up with some new ideas, guys. It's war.
Like, they really did try to come up with a somewhat unique concept for this, but it felt like it fell on its face. Yeah.
So Gemini does all the off-book stuff, all the assassinations. If you want people to disappear, yep. These are the guys you call. And Clive Owen is like, I'm so fucking awesome, and Clive Owen was in this was Will Smith and everybody's commanding officer.
Yeah.
In a bunch of different places. Iraq, Afghanistan, Bahrain, or whatever.
They said like 3 Palmetto or something like that. They said a bunch of random ones, and then one that everybody would know, and then they stopped. It's arbitrary.
Somalia, probably.
Oh yeah, no, that was one. Somalia, yeah. But again, it's fucking arbitrary because they always say that in these movies.
So
Budapest.
Exactly. And so then Benny Wong takes him to Colombia.
Yes.
And
where you're there for a whole 5 minutes.
5 minutes, they all have a drink, and then they go to sleep. And then we
wake up to getting shot at.
To a sniper on the rooftop. Charlie's in the trees. What? No.
It took me a second to get what you meant, and I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's relevant. Yeah.
And so we get the really cool chase scene.
Yeah, it's actually pretty well shot. This is my favorite scene in the entire movie.
Yeah, and so what's happening is Will Smith is like, okay, there's a sniper on the rooftop. I'm going to draw him off. For some reason, he knows that they only sent one guy, which is sort of weird. It's also kind of weird that they only sent one guy, but it's the guy.
It's the guy.
Ooh.
It's the man.
The boy.
The boy.
He hasn't even got laid yet.
The Pisces boy. Yeah, neither is Will Smith.
I mean,
he even says he's never had a long-standing relationship or he even said there's no chance of him having kids. Which, I mean, I guess you can take in a multitude of ways, but I took it quite literally.
There's no... okay. Now, I've slept with girls. There's still no chance I'm having a kid. I would have a kid.
There's still a chance. There's still a 0.1% chance no matter what you did.
Oh, well, that they would be keeping it a good secret from me.
Yeah, it happens.
It's a good thing they haven't shown up asking for money.
I don't know about somewhere.
Don't show up asking for money.
It's a public service announcement.
You don't even look like me, kid.
You look like a younger Will Smith. Poorly photoshopped from an older Will Smith's face.
Yeah.
You look like you're wearing a Hugh Jackman cutout from a magazine stapled to your face. You don't have my hairline either.
No.
Oh.
And so, they sniper starts chasing him. Why are the streets so damn empty in Colombia? Do people live there?
Not really. Apparently. I mean, it doesn't seem like it.
No one lives in Colombia.
Maybe all the drug cartels finally started trafficking enough people out of there.
Broad daylight. No one's in the streets.
Not a single soul. Nobody hears the explosions or the gunshots either.
No, it's fine.
Though we see cops like 5 minutes later.
Well, they were at the bar or whatever.
Yeah,
which cantina?
Still dumb.
I don't know.
But we get this really cool chase scene with them taking pot shots at each other, going back and forth. A lot of tense moments, a lot of, he's going to pop up here, and then they kind of call it. And he has a chance to take a shot, and he doesn't take it.
Why is that?
Because he realizes this kid looks just like him. Oh my god.
What?
It's almost like we knew this the entire time. Whoa.
Whoa.
So then he shoots out the lock to an abandoned building that looks really nice for being abandoned.
I don't think it was abandoned. I think that was just their... locked up.
Oh, how they lock it when they leave.
With the lock on the outside.
With the padlock and a chain.
Yeah, because, Colombia.
Because Colombia. So he shoots out the lock, he runs in there, and he has another tense moment with the kid, a standoff on the stairs. And then one of the most unbelievable scenes in this movie is he tosses a grenade down the stairs.
Bounces it off the mirror.
Yeah, off a mirror, and the kid turns and shoots it, and it bounces back off the mirror and directly back up the stairs.
Yeah.
It looks like they took the footage and reversed it.
That's probably what they did.
To get it back up there.
Well, I mean, they could just fake it.
Yeah, and it's just so dumb. And then it explodes and nothing happens. So then Will Smith just walks by.
Parkour
happens with old Will Smith falling flat on his ass, which was...
Young
awesome.
Will Smith, he's into it.
He's doing some nice parkour.
Fresh Prince does
the
parkour.
Freshest Prince at the moment.
Oh, yeah.
He does some parkour. They get down to street level, and Will Smith Grand Theft Auto is a dude's bike.
Just
right throws him off the bike and gets onto it.
No!
And he
runs away.
Yeah, and he takes off on the bike, gets into a real cool chase scene with a lot of really bullshit cars stopping right before hitting him.
Yeah, perfect timing on those, intersections.
It's doesn't hit any dudes.
I mean, we're watching it. It's actually really well shot. I like
it. Shot. I like the chase shots that they did.
But
it looked good, but was so unbelievable, it just kind of broke it for me.
I mean, where's the old lady that doesn't know what she's doing?
Yeah,
she
exactly,
just keeps going.
Man.
She's like, oh my God!
Where's the fruit cart or something?
Yeah.
But he just kind of runs by, and without any real incident, he gets through an entire busy area and a bunch of alleyways.
That's where all the people were.
Yeah, and in this alleyway, you have one car going this way, and then two other ones in this one-lane alley going the opposite direction.
Yeah, this is not going to work. Someone's got to give up.
And he just speeds by them all, and then young him jacks a cop's bike.
Oh, that was cool. So no, he had a bike, and then it
his
up.
bike, yeah.
And so that's where in the trailer you see him like throw his bike off the ledge, and then he parkours down, and then he runs up, and there's two cops sitting there with their own bikes, and he just like flying knee
cannonballs into these dudes, and like throws one of them over the bike and takes off with the bike. It was a really cool looking shot.
It's like, I got places to be.
It was a good hit, and then
it was well done.
And then it just kind of goes downhill from here.
Yeah.
They start over CGing a lot of the shots, and they're using a bright green bike on a mainly white backdrop.
Yeah.
So you see it a lot easier where they didn't really do the motion blur very well, and the bike didn't look all that good in a lot of shots. They have them fighting with it, which was really cool.
Well, I thought the fighting with the bike, as I was saying in the car, so Will Smith gets, he's on foot at this point because his bike does something.
He winds up crashing into the car.
Yeah, he winds up crashing into the car. And then, so he's on foot, and then he turns around, and Fresh Prince is still on his bike. And then he drives up, and he, like, swipes with his, with the rear tire, swipes it up. They did a lot of really cool stunts with the bike. So, during the chase. And so you're like, okay, yeah, this is somewhat believable that he can use a bike in a way that like normal people can't.
My issue with the movie isn't that the stunts weren't cool, is that they looked like crap.
This is the one part that I thought was really bad. Is where he swipes it around, hits him in the face, and then he comes back around and does a leg sweep, and then he spins it around again, and you're like, dude, that did not look right. It didn't look
good. None of these stunts looked like the stunt actor, the stunt coordinator did not do a good job making this even look believable.
It happened too fast. And that's part of it. Like, there was no weight to it.
Yeah, there's no weight at all because the bike wasn't there.
And it just happened so quickly. And you're like, no, wait, dude, I know you're strong or whatever, but, like, you're not that.
It's dumb, and it looked bad, and then it just kind of gets a little campy when they start fighting with the bike and stuff like that, and I didn't really like it.
Well, he was trying to smash him with the bike, but it seemed like too big to actually... you're not going to be fast enough with your reactions with a motorcycle compared to some guy on foot who is a trained fighter in his own right. It seemed like Uncle Phil there should have been able to kick the shit out of Fresh Prince.
Or at least held his own in any right, because for this entire scene, he's just getting his ass handed to him. He's not even getting blows in anymore.
Yeah, and I get it that, getting smacked around by a motorcycle would be kind of rough, but I imagine you could just dodge.
Yeah,
that.
I don't think he would have gotten hit. But I mean, he does for some reason
because he's the slowest guy ever. He's Uncle Phil now.
Yeah, he's Uncle Phil. He's aged out. He missed by 6 inches. Therefore, all of his skills and 30 years of knowledge are wasted.
Yeah, he sucks. And so, then the cops all of a sudden show up.
Yeah, after the kid challenges him to a very short knife fight.
Yeah.
Where the kid just gets disarmed and thrown away, and that was basically it does this dramatic shot where it has him like flipping out this blade.
Yeah.
And all I could think of was dun 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 down. And it was really dumb. I really want to go over and dub that scene over. Just with that music.
Come on, people, make a meme out of this shit.
And then Will Smith Uncle Phil gets caught by the cops and dragged off to get jailed.
For like 2 seconds.
And then he gets busted out by an in disguise, what's her name?
Toast.
Toast, yes. By what's her name, Toast. And that was it. And now they're going from Colombia to somewhere where he can get a shot on him. Which is apparently Prague, I think?
Hungary,
yeah.
They say Hungary. I guess it's Prague. It's probably Prague.
Probably Prague.
And they're like, what's in Hungary? And like, Hungarians.
Which, Sure. I guess.
I don't know.
It's one of those lines where you're kind of like, I mean, yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. But,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't get what that has to do with literally anything else.
No. But then we find out Fresh Prince, he goes back home.
Yes.
He still lives at home.
all the way back to Georgia.
All the way, heading on down to Georgia.
Heading on down to Georgia to the crossroads to fiddle battle the devil.
Which, yeah, it works.
Yeah.
He then fiddle battled Clive Owen.
Yes, just to get told, you got this, son, and then fade to black, and then we're in Prague.
Yeah, and yeah,
that was pretty much. It was 2 minutes of talking and him going, "You got this, my boy."
Oh, that was
Junior.
Yeah, it calls him Junior, and you find out that Clive Owen is like a loving father, and because he offered Fresh Prince a bowl of cereal
when he's feeling down,
he's like, "Hey, can I get you some Count Chocula or
some
Cookie
Frosted
Crisp?
Flakes?"
Yeah, Cookie Crisp or maybe a big bowl of Rice Krispies. I ain't making you any fucking pancakes,
some
though.
Snap, Crackle, and Pop.
Yeah,
just like your bones are going to in this next scene.
Yeah, come on, kiddo, buck up. Let's go sport.
It was just really, really dumb.
It was. They wanted you to see the softer side of a murder.
It feels like they want you to feel conflicted about this movie, but
there isn't any.
There isn't. This just, you know who's the bad guy here.
Yeah.
He's obviously the bad guy.
Well, this is part of my problem with Clive Owen. Is like he should have played it. I don't know. He should have played it more menacing or something, because it's. I know he's trying to go for this, trying to be dad.
Yeah,
here, but he just didn't feel like he didn't feel like a dad.
No, he felt like he was trying to be a bad guy playing a dad. That's what it felt like, and it felt too cliched to me. It felt like I was watching one of those like after school specials where the villain is actually a father. Like, there was that old Mario cartoon for like Super Mario Bros. Where they had Bowser playing a father figure for his Koopalings. And it was probably one of the most cringy things, because it's this evil guy going, "I understand, son." It's like, no, it's dumb. He's a bad guy. Stop trying to make him three-dimensional.
Who's a better father? Clive Owen or Dr. Evil?
Dr. Evil. He had the decency to tell his son that he's a fuck up to his face.
Okay.
Fair enough. I mean, at least Dr. Evil had the decency to tell his son he was a fuck up.
Yeah, and he made a clone.
Yeah, just saying.
Yeah.
And I will call him Mini-Me.
That's what, Junior is sort of the same thing.
Pretty much, yeah. It feels like he's going, I'm going to take this dude who I really liked from when I was a soldier and make a clone of him to have him as my son and myself. He even says at the end of the movie, it's like he took both the best of me and the best of you, and I'm like, no, you need to stop. Stop! It's so bad. It's really creepy.
Don't cry. I'm taking the best of you and the best of me.
Yeah. Sounds really rapey when you say it like that.
Because it is. Will Smith got violated.
Yeah, really, really violated.
His
human rights were violated.
They were, and he had no say in it. And I feel bad for him. He got
shafted in this without the fun of being shafted. I mean, it's unfortunate for him.
It was. Poor guy.
Poor dude. And he had a son he didn't know about for 20 years. And he doesn't even have to pay child support.
Not anymore. Yeah.
It sounds like a good deal, actually. Hold on.
Well, he then started paying for college at the end. That makes
the worst.
Like, no, kid, you're still on your own. Go get a job at McDonald's. Here they're hiring. Use your fucking Alexa or whatever.
Use your superhuman skills to flip them patties.
He'd be awesome at it. Burger King does a flame broil. He'd flip that shit. So anyway, in Hungary, they do a DNA check because they grab the hat and... Real quick,
some fucking how they do a DNA... You kind of glossed over this. Somehow she does a DNA check while staying off the radar.
Yeah. She just calls some person that finds him in a library.
And also hands off this dude's DNA samples to a lab that they don't actually know anything about.
She's like, I'll get it back to you in 2 days. And then she's like, more money.
And 2 hours. It's like, that's not how testing works.
Oh, yeah, just throw more money at it. Do you see all this money, machine?
That might be how the military works, honey, but that's not how science works.
Science. science. Fuck science.
As long as it makes gold, I don't care. So they get the test results back within 2 hours, 30 minutes or less, otherwise it's free. And she goes, he's literally you. He's not just looking like you. He's not just a son you may have. He is just you.
Yeah, and she's like, I checked it 3 times.
It's almost like the entire meme where I'm you, but better. It's kind of what this feels like.
But here's the biggest, one of the biggest problems I have.
Other than the cloning.
This is the problem with the cloning. You don't get skills, knowledge, experiences, so you can have, it's just like twins, right? Exact twins are not exact same people. And their experiences and how they're treated make them different people. So why is Fresh Prince the same as Uncle Phil? And that's where I think the whole story just kind of falls apart with this part. Once you realize clones are not the same people, folks.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate here.
All right.
Because there's a lot of our behavior that does come from our surroundings, but also a lot of it that is genetic. There's a decent portion of who we are as people that is genetic, not our nature. We have learned this throughout our studies that we have done. Mm-hmm. So you could argue that, he only got the genetic parts of it, and all the experiences is something that Clive specially tailored during his training to make him do. But honestly, that just creates more questions than answers, and this movie is bullshit.
Yeah.
But for the sake of playing devil's advocate and having a discussion, you could make an argument, but it's a dumb argument to make.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of it, and it's sort of...
No, it's completely stupid. It's the dumbest plot point this movie has, is that this guy is the super soldier because just his genetics. It's like, no, there's a lot of training and discipline.
Yeah.
And a tour or two in the military that taught him how to do a lot of this shit.
Yeah.
You'd think.
You would think that all this stuff is based on skill. It's working really hard your entire life to become this, and they're like, nah, you can just skip all that.
That said, just like with athletes, there is a lot of genetic prowess that comes with it.
With athletes, I have this theory. Yeah. I'm going to talk about it real quick. But so you have, speaking of Mariners and Seahawks, which you're not super familiar with, but it's like Felix Hernandez, who is 31 years old. I know. He's 31 years old, but he came up as a 19-year-old. He's from Venezuela. We signed him when he was 16. He's got all the talent in the world when he was a kid, and the problem is that he didn't hone his skills. And so now that he's 31 years old, he's pretty much broken and done because he didn't learn how to actually pitch and get better and be able to... He didn't really understand what it is that he was doing. Where Jamie Moyer, for example, who was a 40s... soft tossing left-hander who pitched, he retired years ago, but he had to learn how to pitch. And because of that, he was able to pitch until he was 45 and was very, very successful, and in fact has better career numbers than Felix Hernandez does. And so one is washed up at 31 years old. The other one was able to pitch till he's 45. You would like to have the one with the most talent, Felix Hernandez, be able to pitch until he was 45, but he didn't learn how to do that. Mm-hmm. It's sort of like Doug Baldwin for the Seahawks. He just recently retired. He was another guy. He went undrafted, came out of Stanford. He learned how to be the player that he became, the wonderful receiver, because he had to work really hard to do it. Where some of these guys, they come out and they're already 6'4" and they can run 1,000 miles an hour, and they're just like, yeah, whatever, this is what I do. And so their careers don't last as long as the guy who has to really work for it because he had to work and he had to learn how to do it the right way. Mm-hmm. Where everyone else is just, I'm just better than everybody. But eventually you're not better than everybody. Eventually your skills fade because it's all physical and it's not mental. You don't know how to actually win. And so winning with lesser tools is how you do it. So that's Uncle Phil in this case won with lesser tools because he had to learn how to do all the skills and everything. Where Fresh Prince, was just handed everything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, he had to go through some stuff, but he was mostly handed it, and so it's like he may not ever get there because he doesn't have the actual experiences necessary, the things that really shape who you are and what you become. So yeah.
The point I was trying to make was our genetics set our biological limits for what we can physically do.
Well, yeah, of course.
It sets our bench line. It sets what our maximum output is. A lot of that is...
No matter how hard I try, I can't get to 6 feet tall.
No matter how hard you try, you will never run as fast as some people. No matter how hard you try, you will
true.
never have as much endurance as the people who do the... how far can you cycle in an hour?
Well, Lance Armstrong figured out how to do it. Cut off one nut and roids.
He actually has really low numbers compared to a lot of people nowadays.
Well, the roids. I mean,
yeah, those certainly didn't help.
No,
but like we have testing now where we can see what your maximum potential could be in a certain sport, and that's an interesting science.
Yeah, but it also takes skill and discipline to actually get there. That's the thing I'm learning. It's like you can run really fast, but if you can't catch, like
what I'm saying is we can now see what our maximum output, no matter how skilled we are, will ever be because of what our physical limits are.
Yeah.
So then we can train people up to their maximum and know that's their maximum, which is something interesting. And that's something I think they were trying to hand wave away in this movie entirely by saying, oh, his genetics give him everything, which is dumb.
Well, Gattaca is a movie. Have you seen Gattaca?
Gattaca. It's familiar. I probably saw it when I was
you need
younger.
to see Gattaca. It's got
You're trying to convince me to watch way too much stuff that I'm just not gonna watch.
It's fantastic. Ethan Hawke and Jude Law, and it's about exactly what you're talking about. Cloning and future genetic stuff, and you have regular people and you have special people, and it's so good.
Mm-hmm. I assume. I've heard about it.
Well, that's why.
Yeah.
Anyway, so clones don't have skills, knowledge, and experience. Damn it.
But they can be taught those things.
Yeah, well, of course. But then we go to a bathhouse and meet a Russian.
Yeah, named Yuri, who is apparently a big fan.
Hey, I like watching you. How did you not get killed in your house? And he's like, the fuck? And
how do you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and this character is basically just a giant walking piece of exposition.
Yeah,
really
that's a Wednesday in Russia.
A Tuesday
well,
in Russia.
I was going with the exposition as a Wednesday. Tuesday is the day that they off their people.
And then Monday is the election tampering. Yeah.
Monday's election tampering day.
Okay, as long as we all know.
Yeah, they got
their schedule. It's in the pamphlet. It's part of it's the Russian agenda.
It's part of the Communist Party. God, get it right. It's in the pamphlets.
It's in the fucking handbooks, guys.
Yeah,
hand these out every week. It's like you guys don't know how to read.
not fucking backwards letters like
when
they have in
half
Russia.
You were named Ivan, I can imagine.
Yeah.
But we get a bunch of exposition from him about how the bad guy is a bad guy, and we're going to send you in to kill him.
Yeah, Varys.
That's pretty much it.
Varys is the bad guy. Varys is Clive Owen. That's the case.
Really? How could we have not known?
And so Varys, I wrote Varys wants robots as people. Like he goes on he gets some exposition and he's pretty much like, oh, we can just make people better and doing all the genetic
not have
shit.
Emotions.
Yeah,
and
it's like
just make a fucking robot.
Exactly. We made them in a couple years ago in another Will Smith movie. Just go watch that.
Yeah, just go watch iRobot and then replicate it. Come on, it's not hard.
Yeah. So
and Boston Dynamics is doing it.
Yeah, they're getting really good at that shit.
It's getting scary.
Yeah, they are.
This is Terminator waiting to happen.
Well, we just Linda Hamilton, is that her name? I don't know. She's going to reset the timeline again.
Hopefully.
But so then we get a bike. Then we go have a bike guy. So the bike shows up. The biker.
Oh yeah, the courier.
The courier, and he's like, "Hey, I got $1,000 to tell you." And so he shows up at a coffee shop where the director, lady,
for DIA,
is sitting, who has a routine.
Yeah,
and apparently Will Smith knows this
for some reason,
and she follows it every day. And then Yeah, it's so stupid.
Yeah, he just kind of calls her on it, tells her to do a bunch of stuff.
And there's shooters at 10 and 2 outside. And you don't even got a camera, dude. How do you know this? You're just saying shit.
I think that's literally all he's going for, is to confuse and scare the shit out of her, really.
She should know better.
She really should, but she doesn't, because of course she doesn't.
And so it was all just to get on the phone with Will Smith.
Yep.
To say stuff. I don't remember.
To have the super assassin sent to pick up what's-her-name for safe pickup.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Because they needed to talk.
Yeah, in the courtyard of whatever this castle is, because it's some famous castle.
Yeah.
And then they go to the catacombs, and
where all the bodies are.
Yeah. These scenes just kind of left a bad taste in my mouth, because it felt super forced, it felt way too convenient, it felt way too...
It really did.
Everything.
This part did. And
then there's the fact that Fresh Prince gets the girl, gets her to strip so he can check her for wires, checks her for wires, then takes her into these catacombs that she has to drive to. It's just really dumb.
Yeah. So, the girl plays bait, and then he knows, she's like, why do you know that he's not going to kill me? And he's like, because, he's got my heart.
I know his type, or something like that. And it's just,
So this is part, what about changing people like, okay, so 30 years ago, more petite girls were a thing, but nowadays it's a little bit heavier, right? And so maybe he likes heavier girls. Yeah, how do you know what his type is, bro?
Changing tastes, man. It's dumb. He's assuming
culture is
whatever.
A thing.
This entire movie hinges on him going, he's just like me, so I just have to think like myself, and it's dumb. It's really dumb.
I wish they had used that line.
It's so dumb. They basically do. They do it without ever having to say it. Because all he does throughout the latter half of the movie is go, he's just like me, I just have to think like me.
Yeah.
And it's, okay, sure. So now you... Think! So now you win, basically.
Yeah. So the girl plays bait, and she gets strip searched, and he's like, ma'am, I need you to take off your clothes. And she's like, first off. And, she doesn't quite have attitude about it. But, she's sort of... She has white girl attitude. Not, I can imagine...
Not sassy black woman attitude like we would have wanted.
That would have been so much better.
It would have been. It actually would have made that scene bearable to watch, because it felt awkward as hell.
And then he's like, ma'am, and I respect my elders.
And I was like, come on, dude, there's no way she's that much older than you.
And it's like, no, you'd be super, fuck yeah, right? She's hot.
Yeah, she's not a bad looking woman, dude. No, come on.
No, I like her.
It's dumb, it's awkward, it feels like it was kind of thrown in here for the added awkwardness, I guess. Yeah, she takes off her shirt and takes off her pants, but we only see her with the shirt off in a bra, and she looks good. And she gets kind of felt up a little bit. Yeah, he's not looking. He's purposely looking to the side so that he's not staring right at her as she's taking off her clothes. Yeah. But then he goes up and he starts touching her and stuff, and it's like, dude, what? Come on, man. Yeah, it just felt weird. Watching this made me feel weird. It's like watching somebody going through TSA. It just doesn't feel like you should be. I don't fly anymore because I haven't flown in nearly 20 years. Before 9/11. Because of all the shit. No, I flew right after 9/11. But because of all the shit that they made you go through. Fair enough. I used to be able to take a knife on, and I did. And then 9/11 happened. And then they're like, nope. I had a cuticle scissors. They took cuticle scissors. Yeah. I'm like, I'm gonna go fucking take over a plane with some goddamn cuticle scissors, you fucking idiots. They swabbed my mom's ashes for bomb residue multiple times. They actually got so scared that it was actually a bomb that they called in a squad. Jesus Christ. I'd like to point out the test strip wasn't even positive when TSA did this. It was the funniest fucking thing coming through the airport in Florida. Yeah. It was so funny. I don't know. And as soon as we told them what it was, the awkwardness. Oh, man. The dead silence. You want a taste? It's dead people. Yeah, you want to know what it tastes like? Snoop Dogg smoked this once. Man. But Yeah, then we get them going into the catacombs, which is a super dark place.
Yeah.
Which Will Smith even calls out. He's like, I want to fight you somewhere where I can see. And I'm like, yeah, I want you guys to fight somewhere where I can see.
Sounds like a good plan, Will Smith. He's like, nope, you got only 11 minutes now. God damn it. Don't you know how to make a fucking movie?
No, they don't. That's why they keep making these.
So, yeah, I liked the first person view that we had running back through. It kind of felt like Hardcore Henry, which gets really annoying after 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, Hardcore Henry was really good in theory, but they needed to play with the perspective a bit more to make it actually a good film.
Yeah. It was I guess Hardcore Henry was a music video, and then it was
a concept film.
Okay. And then they expanded it into a real film.
Yeah.
And yeah, I watched parts of it, and then I was like, oh, this is good, but it got really boring really fast. And then, but they did that for this as well, and
I liked the first person scenes they did in this, because it was very quick, it was tasteful, they didn't make it look super jittery. Like, there was definitely motion, but it wasn't as bad as some of Hardcore Henry's scenes.
Yeah, well, I think some of it would have been like, okay, this is totally in the dark, so what are we seeing? Like, this shadow is talking to this shadow. And instead they said, no, we'll give them the heat signature and stuff.
For a whole 5 seconds.
For 5 seconds, and then turns around, runs back through the catacomb. And yeah.
Gets super blinded by a road flare.
Which was smart, because she was talking. She
had a microphone in her molar.
Yeah, Toast was... I guess that's really convenient to have.
I guess every CIA agent has it, just like a cyanide capsule under the tongue.
Yeah, sure, man. Best be prepared.
Yeah, come on. Gotta be ready for that suicide pact.
And so then, let's see, what do I got? They talk a whole bunch.
They talk a whole bunch. There's a fight scene in the water. It's a lot of Will Smith going, "You are me," and him going, "I'm not you."
Nuh-uh.
He literally goes, "I'm not you, old man."
Yeah.
And
I'm not you.
And that's it. That's this entire scene, really.
It was a very long fight scene of these two just beating the crap out of each other, but
in the fucking dark, when they're wearing dark clothing, and it's dumb.
Welcome to the GreyVillain.
No, the graying villain. Sorry, Justin, I had to steal it.
Yeah, you did. You gave me so much shit.
I yanked it right from under you. I'm so proud of myself.
It was good. It was good. I'm not even going to use yours.
It really wasn't, but it worked.
No, yours is worse, and that's why I'm not going to use it.
Which one was mine?
I'm not going to say it.
No, I actually can't remember anymore.
That's because it was bad, but mine was good. That's why you remember it. And so then we get these two, they kick each other's ass, and then Uncle Phil's like, "Don't shoot him!" And she's got the gun. Chick Toast has got the gun, and then they fall into the water, and Uncle Phil's under the water now, and Fresh Prince is holding him under the water, and then Toast shoots Fresh Prince in the shoulder, wings him, and he lets go, and then that's where he swims away into the deeper catacomb, into the sewer.
Yeah, I guess.
To turn into the lizard or something.
Yeah, it's
and
dumb.
He just
and
disappears.
He winds up back in Georgia or
yeah, he winds up back in Georgia somehow. From that was in Budapest, and he just catches a first class flight or something.
Yeah, something.
He pops some wings and flies over there.
Okay, Falcon.
Hey, who knows?
He disappears over yonder way.
Yeah,
and then we pick up with
with Clive Owen saying how loving of a father he is because Fresh Prince is like, I'm a clone. You took a man and made someone else out of him. The fuck? Yeah, that's exactly what cloning is.
Yeah, you just defined cloning. Thank you.
Yeah.
For those who didn't know in the audience.
Took someone and made another someone. Uh-huh.
And it's a lot of motivational bullshit, trying to make you feel bad for the clone or feel something towards Clive Owen, I guess, or whatever his name is. Yeah,
I still don't like Clive Owen in this. I don't know.
No,
I don't know. He's just trying to say how great of a father he is.
And he just sounds like an annoying prick every time he does it.
Yeah.
Which I guess, he is living up to most people's father figures, so congratulations, you're at least doing that right.
And, so then we get
Then we get them going to Gemini.
Yeah. Okay, so they're in the van.
Mm-hmm.
And then... they meet back up.
Yeah. After they leave the catacombs, they wind up meeting back up with, what's his name?
Oh, they're in the stables. So they fly back to Georgia, and they're trying to get a car. Mm-hmm. And then Kid, Fresh Prince, shoots Uncle Phil with the bee dart.
With a dart using bee venom. Why? I don't fucking get that.
They're like, he goes, well, to see if it's real or something. I guess to see if that's the one thing you're going to choose. Like, the fact that he looks like you, the fact that he knows everything about you, but you're like, you know what? He might not be allergic to bees. Let's find out. And then everyone just sort of stands there.
And let's be honest, being allergic to bees is really common. A lot of people are.
Yeah, it's not that uncommon.
So it's like, dude, come on.
Actually, one of my friends on Facebook, he got stung in the forehead by a bee and made his whole forehead.
Forehead? You mean a 5 head?
No, really. It was bad.
Yeah, I hated this scene so much. Because then he just pops an EpiPen in him and he's fine.
Yeah.
Like, for one, the come down from epinephrine sucks. It fucks with your system for like 3 days.
Yeah, he's fine. It's Will Smith.
He'll be fine to start fighting and shooting and getting concussed here in about 5 minutes.
Yeah, he's good. Science.
Science. We don't need that in this movie. We have clones and bullshit like that.
And then they're like, how did you find me? And he's like, yeah, you got chipped a couple years ago.
Which I guess they should have figured out by now because they'd found him in every single place.
Yeah.
And I could even hear you asking in the theater, how?
I have to ask these questions. I'm writing notes. I'm trying to figure this shit out.
It's so dumb. But yeah, apparently he got chipped like a fucking animal.
So you don't lose your dog. And
they just yank it out and move on with their lives to go to the final confrontation.
Yeah.
The final countdown.
And so then they're in a van and they're all hanging out. Yeah, I know.
I have the song stuck in my head now. I was thinking about that sentence beforehand. I'm like, oh, I'm going to listen to that song.
So then they're in the van, and he's like, what's your name? And he's like, they just call me Junior. And
Carl Jr.
Carl's Jr.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay. And yeah, they're having a bit of a heart-to-heart with the
clones.
Will Smith and his kid, his clone. And his offspring.
No, clone. Clone. Not offspring.
No.
Very different.
And then he asks the greatest question.
Are you still a virgin?
Well, there's that one. But I think they figured out earlier that he was still a virgin. They figured that out in the catacombs. Because it's like, you're still a virgin. The kid's like crying about it.
What did they ask in the car then? I forgot.
Where were you born?
Oh, the clones started asking him about his about their childhood.
About Uncle Phil's life.
Yeah.
And he's like, I was born in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And then a song kicks in.
The West Philadelphia.
On the playground is where I spent most of my days.
Childhood.
Yeah. And then he moved to Bel Air because
his auntie told him to.
Yeah, he should. That's where he should have had his house, not in Georgia, in Bel Air. It would have just been.
I would have been pretty upset if it wasn't Bel Air. To be honest, that would have been too easy.
I mean, it would have been. He could afford it.
Yeah, he really can.
It would have just been funny.
But we get to this town in the middle of bumfuck nowhere.
Yeah,
that has like 2 red lights in it, but yet Gemini's headquarters is right around the corner.
Yeah, and they own the cops and everything, and they're like, hey, man, we're going to blow up your town. But they're like, it's fine.
Fuck off. There's a biological weapon here. Leave.
There's insurance. It's fine. Just call Allstate. They'll show up. This town
looked like the town that Superman destroys.
Maybe that's where
Steel.
Maybe that's where, like, the progressive lady lives. Flo come out of the cornfield.
It's like, what the fuck is going on here? I didn't insure all this.
Jamie comes up and... fixes everything. I love those characters.
You got Allstate, and then Jake from State Farm just kind of walks out from behind them all, like, Really?
When he gets out of jail, I heard Jake from State Farm's in jail.
Oh my god, please tell me that's real. I have to look that up.
I think so.
Oh, man.
Someone stole his khaki pants.
He got pissed. Stabbed somebody.
It's like, those are the same pants I wear!
But this last, like, scene and a half, 2 scenes is so dumb.
Yeah, well, we have an extra body in this car ride. Somehow Benny Wong's still alive.
Somehow they let him live this long.
How? Because he had good one-liners.
No, because he was the token minority.
He had 2 black guys.
But he's the only Asian dude in this entire movie.
Okay. I mean, yeah. And
I could not find a single other one. I was trying. I could not find another Asian dude in this movie.
There might have been one of the extras.
The mercs.
Yeah.
Maybe one of the extras, but I could not find another Asian dude for the life of me.
I don't know, check the bodies.
Yeah, I guess. But he dies via rocket because he was too fat to squeeze out.
They're like, you should... Yeah, so Fresh Prince is driving in the van, and they turn a corner, and he's on the phone with Clive Owen, and Clive Owen's like, run now. And he's like, what? Why? And he turns the corner, and they see
the APC and a missile.
Yeah. And the missile coming straight at him. And so then they all bail, but Benny Wong, a little too heavy.
A little too slow on the draw there, bud. He gets
what?
blown the hell up.
Explosions. And
no!
So there's part of the team that got offed.
Yeah.
Somehow he made it this long. I mean, you could have...
They needed a way to get to and from Budapest, really. In reality, they needed a way to get from all these different sets.
That's true. He was the pilot.
You can't kill the pilot off to the last scene.
Yeah. Okay. That's actually... And then he wasn't driving, which is typically the pilot's job, is to also be the driver. But he wasn't driving, and that you had to have known at that point.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you don't have a job anymore. So.
Pretty much as soon as they said run, like when he was telling Junior to run, I was like, one of them's gonna die. I guarantee it's the Asian dude.
Okay, so I was expecting a car crash. They were gonna get...
Yeah,
knocked,
I expected a T-bone.
and instead it was a rocket.
Yeah.
Did you like the rocket better, or would you have preferred them getting
run
more over by a tank?
I don't think the tank would have had... I feel like if they had done the tank, I would have called it unrealistic, because why would they waste damaging their tank to hit a car?
Okay. Do you think it was a shoulder propelled grenade?
Yeah.
Probably. I mean, they could have just used tank, but then done a tank cannon.
They could have used a tank cannon. I probably would have liked that more, but they need the minigun for later.
Okay. Tanks got miniguns on them.
Yeah, they could have done that, but they didn't for some dumb reason. So they had a law launcher on his shoulder, and then fucking minigun dude on top with a full ballistic mask and Batman eye paint. When they did a close up on his eyes, like, dude, how Ben Afflecked up do you have to be? Looks like he just caked on tar onto his face. Yeah. Looks like he's wearing one of those black peel masks.
Mm-hmm.
How much is that gonna hurt to rip off later?
It won't, because he's dead.
Yeah, because he gets deaded real quick
after he misses with every shot of his 50 cal.
This is the only other scene I'm going to praise this movie for, and it's one effect in the entire scene. The rest of the scene sucked. They did the minigun bullets very well. They looked good. There was good ricochet.
They had tracers.
Yes, and it had good. It looked like it was actually hitting stuff. The gibs they were using for the set looked good.
So they ran. So after the van was destroyed, Fresh Prince bails and goes up onto a rooftop to meet with Clive Owen, who's up on a... Why do you say that?
Because you say roof, it's a roof. It's just a pet peeve, to be honest.
It's a rough top.
It's a rough... Tim the Toolman Taylor.
Oh, fuck that guy. and then Uncle Phil and Toast, they
go into a hardware store.
They jump through the window into a hardware store. I think it was a
restaurant. I think it was a restaurant first, then they go to the hardware store after they pick up the guns.
Yeah, because there's a whole bunch of stuff in there. There's food.
Yeah,
and there's
I think it was a restaurant first, and then it was a hardware store.
I don't know. Later. It's the one store that hasn't been eaten up by a Walmart yet.
Yeah, and they get
And
shot the shit.
So they hide just on the other side of the short wall that used to have a plate glass window that's been busted out from the explosion. And then they're sitting there, and it looked like there was brick down at the bottom.
But that's not going to do jack shit against a minigun.
And it proved to not do anything against a minigun.
Yeah, because as soon as the characters conveniently start army crawling away, the wall gets destroyed.
Yeah, it's just hell. It's blah, everything's gone.
Yeah, and there's a lot of gunshots going everywhere. And
you would think they would have
but no.
thrown some grenades or some more explosives in there, but nope, 50 cal, that's it.
Nope, 50 cal is all you need. And they crawl their asses out of there and acquire themselves weapons. I think they use their pistols to get the first set of
yeah, because two guys conveniently walk in, and then they're like, shoot him in the joints, and they're like, okay, and so perfect shots, bang, bang.
Do you remember when they'd said the same thing in John Wick?
Yeah.
They're weak around the joints. It's like, no shit, that's how armor works.
Yeah, I mean, that's... but you gotta have really good shots in order to do it.
Yeah, it's dumb. But they hit all their shots because he is a marksman, and she is also a marksman.
She was just a person.
Yeah, I don't really get why she's so special. She does, however, take the most hits in the entire movie.
She gets shot.
Twice. Or no,
just
once in the leg. And she gets punched around a lot.
Yeah, she gets the crap kicked out of her. I mean, I guess Will Smith did get beat up pretty good in the catacombs.
Yeah, he gets stabbed by a bone. You say he was really boned.
He's been violated so many times.
Yeah. And
so the gunfight, all the soldiers, they all come up and they all die.
Yeah, they all die. Like, this entire scene is gratuitous violence with no real rhyme or reason.
They have no faces, so you know that they're all going to die.
Yeah, so there's no point in really caring. They move past all of this into another building, while Junior's up on the roof having a tense discussion with Papa.
Yep.
And Papa and him get into a fist fight at this point.
And somehow Clive Owen, kicks his ass for a while.
Yeah, somehow this old-ass man kicks this young, perfect specimen's ass, somehow.
And I'm just like, what is he, holding back or something? But no, he wasn't. But I guess he had to have been. I mean, that's the only way to interpret it.
Yeah, to be honest, that's the only way I could see that being feasible, is he was holding back because that's my dad, but it doesn't really fucking
But you're all pissed off because you're a clone.
And then he winds up kicking the shit out of his dad anyways, and rifle stalking him to the face.
Which he seemed to recover from pretty well.
Yeah.
And so then we get Fresh Prince comes in and cleans up all the other people after Uncle Phil is out of bullets.
Yep.
And Toast is bleeding on the ground.
Yep.
Out of bullets
everywhere.
But don't worry, she tourniquets her leg. And she's fine. Walks it off.
Literally.
She does. She gets up and walks, climbs some stairs.
Fine, and it's like, no, I'm sorry, you're not walking that well with the tourniquet on.
But then CGI Man shows up.
Yes, and the minute he showed up, I was like, it's another clone. Sweet, because of course it is.
He's super fast. He is the guy that Clive Owen was talking about making.
You know how bad this specific CG looked?
Very. I watched it.
iRobot looked the same, and that came out almost 10 years ago.
iRobot was better because at least those robots were plastic
and made sense.
Where this guy he should have had better textures.
But he looked like he was Rubber Man.
Yeah, and he just moved way too fast. Instead of parkouring down stuff, he parkoured up things, and it's like, okay, well, I guess, but you're supposed to be great, but you just don't look right.
Yeah, the CG was fucking terrible.
In the dark, and it still looked like shit.
Yeah, you had every opportunity to hide this and make it look somewhat decent. No, it just looked terrible.
Yeah, but
then he is useless.
He keeps getting shot in the head, which is funny.
There's a 2-minute fight scene of him just getting shot and nothing really happened to him.
He's a tank.
Yeah, and he's beating the shit out of everybody, and he's parkouring his way around CG'd up.
Yeah.
And it's just, I really hated these last few scenes.
I did too, though it made sense for what the movie was, where it was going.
Yeah.
I thought it was
didn't
fine.
feel out of place, but it just looked terrible and felt terrible to watch.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
It was honestly the most egregious thing in this movie.
So they blast the shit out of him with a whole bunch of explosive somethings.
Yeah, I don't know what they were going for with that shotgun because it looked like it was shooting fléché, but not really. Like looked like they were shooting dragon's breath rounds out of it.
Yeah, I don't know.
But to be honest, that's not how they work.
I don't know, but it seemed to work.
Yeah, it looked really dumb.
And so then then they unmask CGI Will Smith, and they find it's another
Prince,
the fresher Prince,
the freshest Prince. Some would say
he's a little bit younger than Fresh Prince.
So we've got we've got Fresh Prince, we've got the fresher Prince, then we got the freshest Prince.
Yeah. Well, we got old and crusty Prince.
We got the old crusty Prince. You mean the current Prince?
Yeah.
Where the Prince is.
I guess he'd be king, wouldn't he? I mean,
yeah, I guess. Yeah.
So we got the king, and then we got Fresh Prince, and we got fresher Prince.
Could you say he was the Will formerly known as Prince?
Okay. Okay. I'll go. Yeah, that works.
But we get this super tense unmasking scene, and then a super tense scene where Clive comes out and tries talking.
And then he's like, "I would have got away with it if it wasn't for you kids."
Yeah, honestly. And then can we just get to the best part of this scene? Where Will Smith blows his fucking head off?
Oh yeah, so we get Clive Owen like talking some bullshit, and
yeah,
he's like,
we could have created perfect soldiers.
Yeah, and he's like, you and me, and we just love and
we created this. This has the best of both of us inside of it, and it's like, you need to stop.
Yeah, no, bro.
As soon as you said inside of it, you need to stop.
Yeah, can you like reword that somehow?
The best of both of us in its DNA. Now, even that sounds wrong. Just stop. Maybe just die.
Yeah, I mean, we made this, and it's like,
no, you made this using his illegally acquired DNA.
Yeah, it's all cringy, man. I just don't like it.
But then he gets shot in the face, thank God, and that's the end of it.
Yeah, because Fresh Prince was about to blast him. He's like, goodbye. And he's like, no, you don't want to do this. And so I knew at that point, I
hated it so much.
Well, it's kind of, it makes sense. He's like, you don't want those demons. Let me do it.
Writing-wise, that's a really good moment to have. How they actually shot it and filmed it really just pissed me off.
I thought there should, so he's like cradling the gun, but then he blasts it, and then Clive Owen flies back a little bit, and there was like no kickback from the gun or anything.
It looked dumb. He wasn't braced. That gun was out of his hands. It wasn't shot well.
That's the part I didn't like. And then there was no reaction from anybody.
No, it was just silence. And it's like, no, that's not what would have happened. There would have been at least something.
I mean, I get that these guys are very desensitized to gunfire, but
they are. She shouldn't be. She's still just another agent.
Maybe she's deaf by then.
Like, something that they really don't address with her is that she wasn't anything special from the academy, really. She had good marks.
Yeah.
She never had they said like a demerit. She never had a demerit, but
good for you.
Good for you. You're a goody two-shoes.
Yeah.
That does not mean you're a battle-hardened veteran like these two. Yeah. Like, at least one of them is. The other one is still, like, 23. I don't know. The characters not having a reaction here kind of just pissed me off.
Oh, I like the line, Clive Owen was like, I don't get why you're so angry. And it's like, you seriously?
You don't understand why I'm pissed, really. I feel like we've gone over this at least twice. It's like you never listen to me. I honestly, this entire movie felt like a bad family drama. It felt like the dad left for cigarettes 20 years ago, and you just made a clone.
And then here comes kid trying to find where dad went.
And then the other dad, like, no, he's not your father. I'm your father. It's just
my two dads.
It's so dumb. But
there's no more clones because the government checked.
Yeah, which I totally don't buy.
Yeah, no, because I mean, really, you didn't want to set yourself up for a sequel? Come on, guys. No, maybe they did.
I hope to God, if there's a sequel of this, Will Smith needs to be banned from Hollywood. After Aladdin, he needed to be banned from Hollywood.
Well, actually, maybe even a better line. So, you're a mature man meat.
Oh my God. End. When he says this, I cringed.
It was so bad.
I legitimately just kind of went, huh. I felt like involuntarily puking on the person in front of me because it sounds so wrong when a 50-year-old man looks at the camera and goes, you want this mature man meat. I'm like, no.
You just keep that man meat to yourself.
Nah.
Yeah, that's wrong.
But the last two scenes of this is just kind of wrapping up loose ends, kind of a feel good, end on a good note moments, but they're really dumb.
Should they have included them? Or should they have just ended it?
They should have just ended it, because it felt like it added an extra 10 minutes of runtime this movie did not need.
Yeah.
And it didn't really give any. It gave us 2 good throwaway lines. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. And that's it.
That's it. That's Gemini Man.
According to the government.
Yeah. So, Justin, what did you like about this movie? What didn't you like? What would you rate it?
I like the acting, except for Clive Owen. I like the fights, except that they were in the dark, so the stuff I could see was good. The shooting and all that was well done. I thought it was fairly well paced. Some of the exposition was a little silly, but yeah, I mean, I didn't think it was the worst movie. I was expecting it to be so much worse.
Yeah, I will say, we both went in there going, this is going to be fucking terrible. But it wasn't as bad. It was still bad, but it wasn't as bad as we thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give it, I was trying to think, how do I put it up against some of this other stuff? Is it better than Hobbs and Shaw?
I liked Hobbs and Shaw more.
Really?
I actually enjoyed Hobbs and Shaw.
Okay.
This feels like probably the worst movie. No, not the worst. This is down there in
definitely not the worst.
Bottom 2.
And Anna?
My first cliche as Anna was, I still enjoyed parts of it.
Men in Black.
Men in Black I absolutely fucking hated.
People in Black, or whatever.
Yeah,
Women in Black.
Men in Black. Those throwaway lines were amazing.
The Dark Crystal. Super fantastic.
Yeah, best series all time. No.
Was this better than Ad Astra? Different genres, of course.
What did we rate Ad Astra? Did we rate that a 3?
I gave it a 3. I think you gave it... Yeah, we gave it a 3.
Yeah, we both gave it a 3. I'd still give this a 3. Because it was bad in a different way than Ad Astra was.
I was going to give it a 4. 3 works. I give it a 3.
I don't think it's worth a 4. I just didn't enjoy it.
Okay.
That's my only reason. You definitely have a reasoning to give it a 4. I feel like you enjoyed this movie more than me.
I didn't think it was as awful, but it's fine. I have no interest of watching it again.
Yeah.
Don't make any clones of it.
No, please, for the love of God, do not give this movie a sequel. If this movie gets a sequel, I have lost faith in humanity.
Maybe Clive Owen has a sequel.
If Clive Owen had a clone and he shows up, I'm going to be pissed. I'm going to be absolutely livid if we get a sequel and it's Clive Owen's clone.
Maybe Arnold Schwarzenegger has a clone somewhere.
Yeah, we see him in the new Terminator movie.
No, did you ever see Eighth Day or something like that? Or no, that's the wrong one. I think it's the wrong one. I don't know. There's one where it's in the future, and you get a bunch of clones of bodies, but they're not people. They don't have your memories or anything, and so then you put on these nifty glasses, and it takes your memories, and then you put it into the husk essentially, and so that way, if you have a life-threatening something,
Total Recall.
No,
that was memories, not bodies.
Yeah, I can't.
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about.
It wasn't a very good movie.
Most things that Arnold Schwarzenegger is in aren't very good.
Movie, I think it was a different movie. I can't remember.
It doesn't really matter.
So yeah, this is a 3.
And end of the day, I disliked the CG. I disliked a lot of the acting. I disliked a lot of how it was shot.
You disliked the acting? I mean, I thought
a lot of it was just kind of average. I
thought Mary Elizabeth Winstead did okay. I thought Benny Wong did fine. Will Smith was fine.
It was Will Smith.
It was a Will Smith joint.
When I walked into this movie, I expected much worse, so I'm not disappointed in it, but it wasn't great.
Clive Owen was the weak part.
Yeah, he really was, and the rest of them just had some really shitty writing behind them.
Yeah. It's fine.
The stunt coordinator needs to step his fucking game up because this looked like trash.
Looking at you, stunt coordinator, whoever the fuck you are.
A lot of this movie just could have been improved by better writing and having a better post-production team.
Yeah.
And it felt like it was lacking.
Well, Ang Lee, dude.
Get your shit together. This is like the third movie in a row you've made that's been trash.
You're like the new M. Night Shyamalan.
At least M. Night Shyamalan had good movies. At some point.
One good movie.
Which one do you think?
Didn't he do, Are
you and I about to fight?
What?
Are you and I about to fist fight over the table? No, what movie did you like by him?
Didn't he do, I See Dead People?
Sixth Sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I thought that one was...
Or that wasn't Sixth Sense.
Yeah, it was.
Was it? Yeah, that was Sixth Sense. I was thinking of,
Signs?
Yeah. I was thinking of Signs.
Yeah.
But Signs also had horrible writing.
Yeah, so no, I didn't like...
And The Happening.
And I never saw Happening.
Do not go watch The Happening. It is so bad. 0 out of 10. Happening. It's funny to watch, but it's so bad. Because there's Marky Mark in it, so it's instantly horrible.
Yeah, well, just like all the Transformers movies.
Oh. But yeah, I universally just didn't really like this movie. It wasn't bad, it was strictly average, but I felt like with what they had, the cast they had, and the technology we have available to us, they could have done so much better. So I guess at the end of the day, I'm not really mad at this movie, I'm just disappointed.
Sorry, kid.
Sorry, kid. You're just a clone of an older man.
Go to your room. You don't get any cereal for dinner.
No cereal for dinner.
Let's see. Is that about it?
Yeah. Next week we have a ton of movies in theaters, and we don't know which one we're going to see.
Yeah, we got Lighthouse, which is black and white, crazy movie. I really want to see it. I don't know if they're going to put it in our theater around here, though.
Yeah.
Jojo Rabbit. Also, Taika Waititi as Hitler.
Looks like a good comedy.
Yeah, not sure if it's great for this, for a podcast, but it could be. Zombieland Double Tap, Jay and Silent Bob reboot. So that's what's coming out. We have no idea what's coming out the week after that because nothing's good. And then Terminator Dark Fate and Charlie's Angels comes out on November 1st.
As well as like 3 or 4 other movies.
Yeah.
A ton of movies are coming out on the 1st.
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff coming out throughout November. And it's going to get busy.
Yeah.
Getting into the holiday season. Let's see. What do we got? Facebook, the GreyVillain Podcast, Twitter, @GreyVillainPod, YouTube, GreyVillain. Like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the notification button. Everything you do helps spread the word. More interaction, more eyes and ears. Stay cool.
Peace.